California Congressman Adam Schiff is the top Democrat on House Intelligence and joins me now from L.A. Congressman, thank you very much. What would be the implications of Nunes putting this out there for all the world to see?
Well, the implication is that it would mean that the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee is ready to sacrifice national interest, sacrifice investigative interest in order to help defend, protect, and cover for the president. It's really a continuation of what the chairman did at the very beginning of the investigation when he went on that now very publicized midnight run to the White House and then later went back to the White House to purportedly present evidence he had obtained of malfeasance within the intelligence community. We later learned that actually the information he was presenting to the White House, he'd gotten from the White House. It was a charade. Well, this is a very different kind and a more serious charade, and that is he is attempting to entire intelligence community, FBI, Bob Mueller investigation in order to once again protect the president. And it's a terrible disservice as well as a terrible distraction.
And I also wanted to ask you about what the president said to the White House correspondents, to Kristen Welker and others last night in John Kelly's office.
Did you ask McCabe who he voted for? Did you ask him that?
I don't think so. No.
You don't think?
No, I don't think I did.
You don't?
You did not.
I don't know what's the big deal with that.
So he didn't see anything wrong with talking to McCabe, even if he didn't say he remembered talking to McCabe and asking him whom he voted for, #2 man in the FBI, at the time #1 person because Comey had been fired. He didn't see anything wrong if he had asked him about whom he voted for. And then he did mention the fact that McCabe's wife had gotten money from Terry McAuliffe, who was Hillary, was the same equivalent of taking money from Hillary back in 2015 when she was running in Virginia for a state office. The President of the United States does not see what is wrong about asking a top FBI official whom he voted for.
Yes, well, if he doesn't see what's wrong, that's a problem. If he does and he's misrepresenting the conversation, that's a different problem. But either way, it's part of a pattern, and that is he wanted loyalty from James Comey. He wanted to make sure that Comey was loyal to him, not loyal to the country or to the Justice Department or the FBI. And similarly, I think these questions of McCabe, which are entirely inappropriate and improper, are an effort to elicit, are you going to have my back? I've got this Russian cloud hanging over my head. Can I count on you? Not to do the right thing, not to be an impartial and diligent FBI acting director, but can I count on you personally? Did you vote for me? Are you for me? And unfortunately, this is how the president views the FBI and the Justice Department. You're either against him, and at this point, he obviously puts McCabe in the against him category, which is a terrible, I think, maligning of a career public servant in Mr. McCabe.
I also want to ask you about this whole question of the text between the FBI officials and the Justice Department official, which they are now, the opposition to Mueller are seizing on as a secret society against Donald Trump. The actual text, the message that they have not publicly released, is the morning after the election, the surprising election of Donald Trump, and one of these two who are in a romantic relationship says to the other, are you even going to give out your calendars? Seems kind of depressing. Maybe it should just be the first meeting of the secret society. Now, Ron Johnson, the Wisconsin senator, seized on that to say that this is a secret society trying to overthrow the president, to stage a coup within the FBI. Those who know more about the context say this was a joke. Dark humor by two people who clearly did not support Donald Trump and were immediately removed from the case when Mueller found these texts. Do you think this will undermine the Mueller investigation?
I don't think it will, but of course that's the goal by selectively pushing out a certain text to try to discredit the FBI. It's not being done just by Senator Johnson. Mr. Gowdy on our own committee is doing the same thing. After spinning various Benghazi conspiracies, he and others are now spinning a conspiracy theory of this secret society within the FBI. It does damage to the national security, the FBI, when we're disparaging the Bureau this way for patently political purposes. When those FBI agents fan out around the country, as they do every day, to interview people, to find out about plots against the citizens of this country, now We're going to wonder, okay, is this agent at my door part of this secret society that these GOP members are talking about? Can I really trust them? They're undermining the work of these agents, and for no other reason than protecting the president's hide. What I have told our committee, including Mr. Gowdy, is you need to think beyond the next few years of this administration. We ought to all be thinking about the long-term impacts to these institutions that are vital to our democracy, but there doesn't seem to be much appreciation for that.
Quickly, do you think that what the president said, indicating his willingness, walked back a little bit by Ty Cobb to be interviewed, will hold up? Will there be an interview in the next couple of weeks with the president of the United States? And when he says under oath, anytime you're interviewed by an FBI official, you can be charged with perjury if you lie, whether you've taken an oath or not.
I think he will be interviewed. I think he has to be interviewed, and I don't think it would be a complete investigation on Bob Mueller's part if he wasn't. I don't know that it'll happen in the next couple weeks. I'm not really that familiar with what Mueller's timetable is. I will say, if this talk is real and the interview is coming up within the next month or month and a half, that Bob Mueller is probably a lot farther along in the investigation than some might have imagined, because you would expect in the normal course of things an interview like that to be among the last interviews, not among the first. So it means, I think, that Bob Mueller is quite far along in the investigation. And I don't think it's a coincidence that we are seeing this amping up of these attacks on the FBI, attacks on the Department of Justice, because Mueller is farther along in his investigation.
Adam Schiff, Congressman, thank you very much.